Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Hermes fall collection. I did pick up everything except the two nail polishes. I was so tempted to get them, but at $60 each, I tend to prefer indie nail polishes and wear those more frequently. I figure I'd pass on those, but they do look stunning and they go perfectly with the eyeshadow palette. So I reboxed everything just so you could kind of see how everything comes packaged. It's the same as Hermes always packages their beauty items, but if you haven't purchased anything from the brand yet, this might be a collection to splurge on. And I think the packaging always, it's very chic. It makes a nice gift, whether it's for yourself or for somebody else. So we do have a little window here showing our Hermes orange. And then inside you have a little push-through box. And then we have it's like a canvas twill material for the pouch. And then the eyeshadow palette, and there is a little brush that comes with this as well. So just a little synthetic brush. So this, definitely helpful if you're traveling, but it's just one brush, one shape. So I typically don't use this. When you open this up, there is a little piece of plastic here over the colors, and this is number 11, Ombre Mineral. And I have to say, I love the color story. So we'll swatch that in just a minute. Let's take a look at the lipsticks. They come packaged the same way. And we've got, again, the nice little orange push-through box with a little canvas twill case or pouch. And then these are the lipsticks. So we have two matte lipsticks in this collection and one brilliant or shine lipstick. So this one here is number 3, Brilliant Beige Glace. And you can see we still have matte packaging down here. Okay, so the top is going to be your white enamel shiny material, but then down here on the base, this is all going to be more of a matte texture. We've got blue, brown, and black going around with a teal base. And it's a little different on each one. So this packaging goes with the shine lipstick, Beige Glace, and you can see, looking at this up close, we do have some shimmer. This is going to be a sheer shiny with a little bit of a champagne shimmer. So we'll look at that in just a minute. Then we have two matte shades. So the packaging is still going to be the same in terms of shiny versus matte, but this time we have green, beige, and black with a blue base. And this is number 23, Beige Doblis. And you can see it's a really beautiful, soft, matte shade. And this one, it's kind of like a rosy, rusty brown. We'll look at that in a minute. And then the one that I have on my lips, I actually have this topped with the shine lipstick, the Beige Glace. But the last one here, we have kind of more of like a soft terracotta shade for the base, almost a little bit of blush pink mixed in there with a navy blue, a brighter blue, and a black. And this is number 73, Rouge Nappa, which is what is the base on my lips. And this is a really beautiful, more of a soft red burgundy. I think all of the shades in this collection really evoke the feelings of fall, at least for me. Makes me think of, the changing foliage, but it also makes me think of like having apple cider and cinnamon. I feel like cinnamon is a big theme with this collection for me. And, feeling cozy and things like that. So I personally love it. Let's go ahead and swatch. We're going to go this way for swatching. So we're starting off with kind of this beigey brown shade here. You can see it's got a little bit of rust in there. It's kind of like a rusty tan. And this is going to be a matte shade. And I have to say, it's got a little bit of that orangey rust shade, which I feel like is like a lighter version of this top. Then we have this shimmery shade. And this is going to be a light, almost a soft golden champagne. Let's swatch a little bit more on there because this one is light. So this actually works well on the face as a highlighter as well, and I'll show you that in just a minute. Then we have this green. Now this green, it almost looks like it's matte, but it's actually matte with a little bit of shimmer. So it's a satin matte kind of, a little bit more matte than satin. but we do have a little bit of shimmer in there. And you can see that it's a really beautiful, soft, mossy green. We have a little bit of yellow in this green, but it's not too yellow. It's really kind of just like that soft, mossy carpet. And then we have a blue, and this is going to be another matte shade here. And again, this makes me just kind of think of the sky. So these are the 4 shades in Ombre Mineral. And let's move on to the demos and details for the eyeshadows. Then we'll come back and take a look at the lipsticks. Just a few product details. We have 3 grams of product in the palette. It's made in Italy, and we have a 1-year shelf life. Now, this definitely has a hefty price tag. The price is higher than those in the permanent line. That is partially due to the limited edition nature of this product. I don't expect this to be around for a long time. So I do think that this is a collection that is highly anticipated, and I think that this is one that will sell out. Now, personally, my personal feelings on the Hermes eyeshadows in general, I think they are a nice formula. I just don't really necessarily find anything particularly stellar about the formula to normally warrant the price tag. However, with this collection, I love this color story so much, and I don't have a quad quite like this. So for me, I think this one is well worth it. On a regular basis, for a color story that's perhaps a little bit more traditional, for me, I prefer different formulas. And I also am not a huge fan of the way we have a lot of, kind of unused space in the palette by mixing the circles and the squares. That being said, it's a very nice eyeshadow formula, and it goes on smoothly. It's kind of a silky powder texture. You can definitely sheer it out. You can build it up. It's pretty versatile. And I really love this color story. And for me, that's what is calling to me with this particular collection. I think it is really well done. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and these weren't really colors of that time. However, we did still have some furniture in our house growing up that makes me think of this eyeshadow palette, and it just brings back memories of my childhood in that way. But I do feel like it's got a little bit of a more modern twist, adding in the blue, and the hues and tones of this are slightly different. Think of like avocado green appliances and so forth. This is a little bit, perhaps a little bit more nuanced. It's got the shimmer in there, and I just feel like it's an updated version of those color stories, and I think it's done really well. So I love this color story. Let's take a look at a few comparisons before we move on to lipsticks. So as I mentioned, I don't have a palette that has these exact colors. However, I did want to take a look at the Cle de Peau Seagrass eyeshadow palette. This is number 10 from Cle de Peau. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to swatch this vertically so we can kind of see. And you can see that this green here is going to be a little bit more yellow, a little bit more sheer than that in the Hermes. But it is going to be similar. This primer shade, this is kind of like a golden cream. It is similar to the champagne, but it's going to be a little bit deeper and more of a burnished gold. And then we have more of a deep emerald. So similarity with the lighter green there, but definitely not a dupe. Another palette I wanted to take a look at is Memory of Sage. This is number 7 from Addiction Tokyo, and this one just came out. And yeah, we don't have all of these same shades, but I did want to see how this color story can compare. So we have kind of these golden beige shades. You can see that this shade here, it's a little bit more brown than the one from Hermes. The Hermes has a little bit more orange. And then our green here is actually going to be a little bit more teal. There's a little bit more blue in there than the one from Hermes. And then this palette here, this is by Byredo Mineralscapes, one of the best palettes this year. And let's pick and choose a few shades from here that kind of go. Now, there really isn't anything to match this like orangey terracotta shade, but let's start off with kind of this shimmery golden shade here. You can see that this is going to be a bit more pigmented, and it is more yellow. Definitely a bit brighter there. But I think what we really want to focus on here are going to be the greens and the blues. So I'm going to swatch this green and this green up here and this one down here at the bottom. And let's see how those compare. We'll put those right here. And then let me grab the Hermes green. All right, so here's the Hermes green. We'll just put that right there so you can kind of see. And the Hermes is going to be lighter. It's more matte, of course, but it is going to be similar in tone to this first shade here in the, it's the second shade in the palette in the Mineralscapes. Now, as for the blue, you know, I don't think we have an exact match here. This is going to be too light. This is going to be too dark. These actually skew more teal and purple, so we're not going to swatch those. But let's see how they compare. I think the lighter one is closer. It's not a match, but I would say it's close enough. However, keep in mind that it is going to be a bit more of a metallic shade compared to the matte from the Hermes palette. So I hope those comparison swatches were helpful. Let's take a look at the lipsticks. So I'm going to swatch the lipsticks on my hand and on my wrist just so we can see it adjacent to the color story from the actual eyeshadow. But let's start off with the number 3 Brilliant Beige Glace. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to have some shimmer. This is more of a soft, you know, sheer balm. It's mostly sheer. There's a little bit of peach in there, but we do have some shimmer. So on the lips, it's not going to make a huge impact, but it layers beautifully with the other lipsticks to give it a little bit of a soft golden hint. Think of like when the sun is setting and kind of that hue that you get when that golden light is casting onto other objects. So this is number 3 Beige Glace. I have to say I really love it. And just while we're sitting here, I wanted to, this is the, it's from years ago now, number 5 Brilliant Beige Dough. This is not shimmery. You can see mine had an accident, but I wanted to show you how they compare because this is one that, you know, it really, that's what it made me think of. So you can see that the Beige Dough is going to be a little bit deeper. It does not have the glitter in it. It has shine of its own, but just from the shine formula. Then we have number 3 Beige, or 23 Matte Beige Doblis. And let's put this one right here. So here is Beige Doblis, and it's kind of like a warm rose with a little bit of, you know, there's a little bit of like kind of a rusty hue in there and a little nude brown in there. So it's a really beautiful shade. I think it goes beautifully with this collection. And then our last one is 73 Matte Rouge Nappa. And look at that. So you can put this on very lightly and get kind of just a soft hint. This is going to be more of a soft red with a touch of burgundy. This is going to be a cooler tone shade. So let's go ahead and we'll put this one right here as well. So you can see that with the eyeshadow. You can see that everything here from this collection, it just really goes so nicely. I think it's very well curated. And I think the 3 shades are really nice. One of the great things I really love, particularly about the Rouge Nappa, is it almost feels more like a sheer matte going on. It doesn't feel as heavy as our regular mattes, even compared to the Beige Doblis. Let's take a look at the lip swatches and we'll talk about these. So the lipsticks, we have 3.5 grams of product. We have an 18-month shelf life. These are made in Italy. And as we're looking at the lip swatches, you know, the Brilliant, I think this is a really comfortable formula. It's one of my favorites. Think of more of a lip balm texture. If you've ever used the Poppy Lip Shine, this is that same formula, but in this case, we have almost like a golden light transparent base with a little bit of a golden champagne shimmer in there. So it's very, very finely milled. It does not feel gritty on the lips. It's very comfortable. It is a very soft textured formula. So with the Brilliant formula, you know, some of them have been firmer than others over the years, but this is definitely one that is very close in formula to the Poppy Lip Shine or the Beige Dough. It's a little bit softer, which means you do need to be a little bit more careful when applying pressure with this one. And moving on to the Beige Doblis, I think this is such a beautiful, soft, warm shade. This is going to give you about medium intensity on the lips. You can definitely sheer this out, but I think it's just a really nice, impactful, yet not intense lip color. And it is going to be your traditional matte from Hermes, very creamy and smooth, easy to apply and blend out if you choose. Whereas as we're looking at the Rouge Nappa, you can see going in with a sheer layer, and you could see this on the hand swatch. You know, one swipe of this gives you a lot lighter color. It's like a sheer matte. This one's actually more of a satin matte in finish. You know, it just seems to have a little bit more sheen to it and a little bit more transparency to the base than your traditional matte from Hermes. I think all three of them are beautiful, but I'm really happy with all of them. If I had to pick one though, my favorite is the Rouge Nappa. Now, I do want to make a note that Hermes makes a distinction with these mattes. The Rouge Nappa is a matte léger, whereas the other one is just your traditional matte. So we have 3 different formulas and 3 different shades for the lipsticks here, and I think they are stunning. I love this entire collection. Now let's just do a few lip comparisons. I want to start off with the Poppy Lip Shine. So this is the Beige Dough from the Brillant line. This is the Poppy Lip Shine, was the original. For a long time, this was the only lip shine formula that Hermes have. You can see we do have the signature orange. This one's different because it actually has a bit of an orange fragrance to it, but you can see it's definitely more orange, but we do have the same shimmer between this and the Beige Glace. A couple others I wanted to look at. We have 76 Matte Rouge Nappa. This was a limited edition shade from, what was this, last year? Okay, so this is Rouge Nappa. You can see it is going to be a little bit brighter. It doesn't quite match either of these shades. It's a little bit more fuchsia pink. We also have 10 Brillant Beige Croisette. So this is going to be in the Brillant line, so I'll put this down here. But this one is slightly, it feels like there's a little bit more wax in this version compared to the Beige Glace. I would not say it's a firm lipstick by any means, but you can see that this color is a little bit more nude, but it kind of matches up with the Beige Doblis, but it's in the Shine formula instead. Now this was a limited edition. You can still find some of these around. I know I recently saw this on Selfridges. So if you're interested in a Shine version of the Beige Doblis, this is a little bit warmer, but similar. Now, this is the Matte Metal, the metallic shade. This is number 81. This is Rouge Granate. We'll put this up here. Doesn't quite go either, but I did want to compare that. And this is going to be a cooler tone, more berry red. And then we have a couple permanent shades. So the permanent packaging looks like this. We have 79 Satiné, which is in the shade Rouge Érable. And you can see this is a deeper burgundy, but it does go with this collection very nicely if you already have this shade. And then the last one I want to look at is a satin lipstick, number 20, Beige d'Automne. And again, this is also going to be a permanent shade. This is going to be a bit more brown. It's more of a cooler brown shade here. A little bit of rosiness in there. Again, it goes with this collection, but it does not match any of these new shades. So one more time, we have 3 Brillant Beige Glace, 23 Matte Beige Doblis. This is 73 Matte or Matte Léger, and this is going to be Rouge Nappa. So I hope that has been helpful. In summation, I love the Hermes Fall 2024 collection. I love the colors. I think everything is well curated. The quality is there. We have nice silky powders for the eyeshadows, and our lipstick formulas are nice. I love how each one is slightly different, and I love this introduction to the Matte Léger, and I'd love to see more shades in that. So I hope this has been helpful, and I hope some of the comparisons help out as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day, and I'll see you very soon.